Free will stands as one of the most central and unyielding problems in Western thought. Immanuel Kant captured this tension in his third Antinomy, a conflict that seems to pit human reason against itself. The fundamental question, do we truly possess free will? From antiquity to the present, thinkers across traditions have been gripped by this one question. And it's not just academic navel-gazing. How we answer it determines our entire framework for understanding existence, freedom, cause and effect, and ethics. It's one of those rare ultimate questions in philosophy, one that forces us to confront the very nature of human agency and metaphysics itself. The answer we give doesn't just stay on the page, it reaches into how we judge, how we legislate, and how we live. Of course, all this philosophical talk can feel detached from everyday life. So let's anchor it with a scenario you've probably faced or heard about. You see an elderly man fall on the street, and you choose not to help him. According to mechanical materialism, your decision not to help the old man wasn't a free choice at all. It was simply the result of physical activity in your brain, specific hormones, neurotransmitters, and electrical impulses firing away. In this view, everything you do is just matter in motion, and your actions are fully determined by these material processes. There's no room for a free will that stands apart from nature. A strict predestinarian view would interpret your inaction differently. In that view, you're a puppet on God's strings. Your lack of compassion was already scripted, part of a divine plan. You didn't choose, you simply played your preordained role. As for why God would arrange such a thing, to punish the old man, to test you, you're not supposed to understand. The reasons are beyond human comprehension. Humanism, on the other hand, sees you as fully responsible. If you saw the old man fall and didn't help, that's on you. It's a failure rooted in your own moral character, not in your brain chemistry or a divine decree. You can't blame your genes, and you can't pass the buck to God. This was your autonomous decision, and you must own the moral consequences. In the humanist view, you are the author of your actions, and with that comes accountability. That simple scenario, an old man falling on the street, forces us to confront the three great worldviews: materialism, theism, and humanism. Each paint a very different picture of what just happened. But the free will problem goes even deeper. It forces us to ask the most basic questions of Western philosophy. Does matter determine mind, or the other way around? Are we puppets or free agents? Is moral responsibility really ours, or does it belong to our genes or to God? Underneath it all, the debate is about three relationships: the creator, humanity, and nature, how they connect and how they conflict. What makes the problem truly vexing is that each of these views, when followed to its logical end, lands in a paradox. In its strictest hard determinist form, mechanical materialism denies free will entirely. Every event, it says, is just one more link in an endless causal chain. What looks like chance is really necessity in disguise. Our sense of choice, nothing but an illusion. Now, if everything we do is physically determined, then personal accountability becomes impossible. Serious crimes could be reduced to neurological and biological causes, and all wrongdoing to biology. In this picture, there's no room for moral responsibility, and without responsibility, the very foundation of morality crumbles. But materialism isn't the only view that kills free will. Hard predestination does it too, pointing the finger at God, not matter. In this picture, every action is divine script. Any whisper of choice, pure arrogance. Here's the rub. If I'm predestined to hell, all my striving is useless. If I'm predestined to heaven, I could commit any evil and still be saved. Worse, if every evil is God's will, then God becomes its author. So the unsettling question arises: why worship a God who authors evil? That's the paradox at the core of hard predestination. In his clash with Luther, Erasmus pressed a similar point. If our choices play no real role, then God's commands, praise, and blame collapse into absurdity. Destined rewards and punishments become empty gestures, and a God who authors evil undermines the moral ground to worship. That's the cutting edge of his insight. So whether you credit matter or a divine script for your every action, you slam into the same wall. Without free will, the very categories of good and evil dissolve. Morality unravels, and all human striving begins to feel empty. That's the stark, incompatibilist pressure that the argument has been building. It's not the last word, but it makes you see what's on the line. So where does that leave us? The source argument makes its choice here, turning confidently to humanism as an outlook that fits modern civilization. In this humanist reading, God gave humanity free will and then withdrew our fate. In this life and beyond, rests entirely in our own hands. We are challenged to own our moral failures instead of offloading them onto matter or a deity. That stance sets up a kind of Promethean self-redemption. We take full responsibility for our moral universe. This is the position the argument stakes out. Free will remains an open, deeply challenging problem. The paradoxes we've explored, material determinism, predestination, human autonomy, continue to provoke thought across disciplines. The tension between them doesn't resolve easily, but perhaps that very friction is what keeps the question so alive.